is Luke's response. Thank you very much. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Can you hear me okay in the background? Okay. Okay. Well, thank you for this opportunity. I was very thrilled when I was invited from Mr. Nelson as well as Mr. Eimon. Before I start my topic, some of the things I brought here I would like to share with you. But before I do that, I have a little plan, and at this time I would like to invite just for 1 minute 2 individuals. And I want you to know, because the place where I went in Hunza, that's one of the most important and the most old, one of the oldest and one of the most unique places on earth in terms of beauty. But I would like you to know that how those people look like. So at this time, 2 individuals, Mr. Eimon, just can you come here for a second, and Mr. Luke Morrison. This is a gentleman from Hunza, and this is another gentleman from Hunza. Can you please take their pictures very quickly? These caps are made of wool. Sometimes it could be a camel wool, sometimes it's a sheep wool. And these are really, and these are really nice caps. And I would like you to look at these, see these. But anyway, last May, I took a trip to the northern parts of Pakistan, and basically that region is one of its kind in terms of history, people, culture, and of course they have 17 peaks which are above 24,000 feet. There are 17 peaks over there, not too many people of you know, maybe 17 peaks which are above 6,000 to 7,000 meters. So if you calculate in American measurement, 3.25 multiplied by 6,000. So a lot of unique. They are some of the largest glaciers outside of the subpolar region. And the region is just got open to the rest of the world, and it got opened in 1986. Now, I would like to tell you a few more things about Pakistan. Pakistan is located in South Asia. West of Pakistan is Iran. And then we have northern areas. We have border with Afghanistan and China. And then on the eastern side, we have India. 135 or 140 million people. And there are 4 distinct ethnic groups, Punjabis, and then we have Sindhis, and then Balochis towards Iran, and then we have Urdu-speaking people. All right. My purpose of this talk is today to help you understand why we need to study trade route, or I will use my British English, route. And basically, it's very important because anytime, just like when you have Santa Fe Trail or Spice Route or all these routes in the world, basically these routes are there to help you understand a few things like history, culture, why people traded, because these routes were occupied by many ethnic groups in this world and for centuries. So the route which I went to, it's called Karakoram Highway and Silk Route. Now, Silk Route is more than 5,000 years old. Now, for us, it's very easy to say 5,000, but it has a huge amount of history and all these things. Now, many of you know Marco Polo, Italian explorer. He came from 1271, and he also traveled on this route, Karakoram Highway and Silk Route. And then there was another gentleman, very famous, and if you want to read about Marco Polo, read National Geographic March 1996, and they have covered his all these adventures. And there's another gentleman, not known, but he's kind of hidden. His name was Ibn Battuta. And he was from Morocco, very young guy, from 1321 for 25 years. He traveled all over the world, mostly Europe, and he also did come on the travel on the Silk Route. And if you want to read about him, December 1991, very credible resource, National Geographic. And then the valley I'm going to talk about, they have a wonderful piece in March 1994 issue of the National Geographic. And then there are 4 or 5 young guys. They went from Wyoming, and they recently had a wonderful adventure in Pakistan. And is a this is a tower, and it's about 20,000 feet. So it's also covered in National Geographic, April 1998. 2 more books I would like to show it to you, and all these are mentioned, by the way, in your handouts. I have included all the websites, all the books, everything, so you don't need to note it down. This is available in the Barnes & Noble, Amazon.com, including this library, and it's on the Karakoram Highway, one of the best cited books in these days. And then this is also another book on Karakoram and Hindu Kush. Okay. I would like to quote very briefly at this time from Marco Polo, 13th century adventurer, and he wrote that about this region, KKH and Hunza and Silk Road, and I quote, he said, "Merchants from this country travel to all parts of the world. Everything necessary for human life is here in the greatest plenty." So we are talking about 1271. So you can imagine how progressive and rich this region was. And then Ibn Battuta, he also, as I said, he came to China via India, but instead of going on the main Silk Route, he took a little bypass. And so, but he had a great time. He went to Bukhara, Samarkand, Mashhad, Kabul, Multan, Delhi, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, which is, Sri Lanka was Ceylon in those days, Bangladesh, and then Guangzhou, which is in China, Guangdong province, and Sumatra, which is in Indonesia. So all these big travelers, in their writings, you can see about the KKH, Karakoram Highway, and the Silk Road. Now, what's so special about this road? And I will give you briefly some data, because without this data, you will not be able to understand what's the significance of this Silk Route and KKH. As I said before, I think I said 17, but it has 19 peaks over 7,500 meters. So it will come out to be 24,600 feet. So when you go to some of the places over there and you stand at the base of some of the peaks, I think it's hard to explain that kind of feeling, because you look at it and you see all the glaciers, and here I'm standing at 10,000 feet, and for a few seconds you say, oh yeah, no big deal, you know. But when you actually look at it, it takes about 1 week to get to the base camp, which is in some peaks they have like 19,000 feet. Okay, the road itself, Karakoram Highway, is 1,300 kilometers, which is about 800 miles. It got opened in 1986. It's the biggest, and according to one of the books I'm citing from this book, it's the biggest engineering project since the pyramids of Egypt. It goes through some of the highest mountains in the world, which I mentioned before. It had a workforce of 35,000 people, 15,000 Pakistanis and 20,000 Chinese for about 15 years. And more than 500 people, 1,000 people lost their lives. It has more than 100 or so bridges built by the Chinese. Its maintenance is a big task. Every 50 miles you see a different ethnic group. Now the most interesting thing is when people are divided, they can't communicate. There are mountains. For centuries, you get into a different language, and people who teach international business, cross-cultural management, they know that when you can't communicate, you get into a different ethnic tribe or group. And then one of the world's greatest geological exhibits, it's a very young area. That's why they have a lot of earthquakes and a lot of landslides and mudslides. And basically, it's always having some kind of landslides. And then there is a one peak which I'll show you in a minute. It's called Naga Parvat. Naga means naked. Parvat means very high. It's a naked mountain. It's 26,000 500 feet. It's the eighth highest peak in the world. At one point, they have 13,000 feet straight vertical wall. And that's why the majestic mountain is about 15 miles long, and it's one of the biggest in the world. Now, when you go to Hunza, it's a very unique area. Not too many people used to go over there, but as I said, now the road is there. So since 1986, you can go to that road. It lies right on. It's a branch of a Silk Road, and the landscape is spectacular, and it's a wonderful experience to do. But they have a one big peak which is 25,000 feet. Now let me go to my slides, and I will share with you some of my work. On these handouts, as I said, I do have some of my work displayed here. Uh, this is the first time I've been displaying my work, although I've been taking pictures, I've been doing photography for the last 20 years, and I have boxes and boxes. And this time when I came home, my wife said, "You need to get your act together and do something and display, otherwise." So I spent many days, and I don't think I wasted time, but I do have some of my work, and I think this is the first time I'm having some kind of exhibition. So, but all the listing is on page one. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me. I do have some memorabilia from Hunza Valley, and there are some very beautiful shawls over there. That's from my wife's collection. She'll be here soon. I think she's teaching tonight. She's a professor of music at WT. And there are some other items over there. Oh, she's already here. Okay. Can I move this little bit so that I don't get into your way? I don't think that all is not done. Is it okay, Luke?
Yes. I mean, it works. You can put it close.
No, this one. My slides. If I could bring the table forward, is it okay? Yeah, so just it's fine. No, I'll take it. Yes. Because I don't have a long answer. Is it? Oh, wonderful. No, this is yes. I just now, as I said before, if you look at the history, okay, if you look at the history of this road, Karakoram Highway, Hunza Valley, Silk Road, you start from 2300 to 1700 BC, and they had Indus civilization, Harappa. Then we have Aryans, life of Buddha, Persians, and then we have Alexander the Great. He also came through the same route, so you can imagine. And PBS is also showing a series on Alexander the Great, and I think all these roads and regions is covered in that. And then after that, we have life of Muhammad. Islam came to that, and then we have Chinese Tang dynasty. Then Silk Road flourishes. So basically, Silk Road flourished in 1680 to 1907. And then all this list is provided. I do have a handout. So you will see so many cultures, including Genghis Khan, Alexander the Great. All these people came through that route. So if you look at those people, they are in between Chinese and Pakistanis, and there are at least 25 different cultures, 25 different ethnic groups, which means 25 different languages. And within those 25 different languages in whole Central Asia, including the Silk Route, you have at least 40 different dialects, more than 40. Next week. Now, this is the Silk Route. You can start from Xi'an, which is in China, right above is Beijing. In fact, I should use this is Xi'an, and then Silk Road from here, it used to divide into three different routes, and then here this will be Pamir Mountains. Now the question is, why did we call it Silk Route? Well, 5,000 years ago, silk was started in China, and it came out to be a prized commodity. So in those days, they used to exchange silk with gold. So Chinese used to send their silk on this Silk Route to Europe. So if you start from Xi'an, and so Silk Route was the only route which connected Western Europe and East Asia. So how many miles we are talking about? We are talking about at least 5,000 to 6,000 miles, because I got this one from Wall Street Journal a few months ago. They had a wonderful piece. Somebody repeated the same route, and I think it took them 2 years. But there are so many countries: China, India, Pakistan, Afghanistan, and then we have Iran. Then it went into Baghdad, which was Iraq, and then it went into Damascus. So these two countries and regions were still there. They had different names, but cities were there. And then it went into Turkey, and it ended up in Istanbul. So now you can imagine, in those days, on this route, they had missionaries, they had academics, they had diplomats, they had musicians. I was reading today, doing my homework today, and I read that they had some of the musicians and entertainers. They used to come to China on this route. Now, in these days, it will take you maybe 40, 50 hours to cross all this region. But if you look at in those days, it used to take like years, at least 3 to 4 years, and the whole route was not protected. They had a lot of killings, beatings, abductions, theft, all these. And then if you go to this area, this is a desert region in the Chinese province Xi'an, and they say that it's one of the most difficult areas to cross. So what I did was, by the way, I forgot to tell you that I took this trip with my dad, and he's a retired Army colonel. He will be 74 years next month. So he was with me, and we had a great time. We stayed there on this route for 5 days. Next week. This is a world map. I took a flight from Amarillo to Dallas, Dallas to New York straight to Ireland, and then from Ireland I had a direct flight to Lahore, Pakistan. So this is Pakistan. This is India. This is Afghanistan. This is Tajikistan. And after the Soviet Union breakup, you have so many countries: Tajikistan, Kyrgyzstan, Turkmenistan, all these. And these countries and these ethnic groups were there, 3,000, 4,000, and they are still flourishing very well. A lot of nomads and all these. Next. This is a map of Pakistan. So we started from here, Islamabad, and this road all the way goes up to the China border. Yeah. This is a map of, it's pretty small, but it's a map. I couldn't make a copy because of the copyright reasons, but I just have it here for you. And so it starts from Islamabad, which is the capital of Pakistan. So this all the way, it's a zigzag snake type road, and it goes up to Kashgar. Now, we had to go through many cities, and I will explain you in a minute. Next week. This is India. This is Punjab province. This is Afghanistan. This is Tajikistan, and this is China. Now here they have K2, Mount Goodwin Austin, which is the second highest peak in the world, 28,400 and something. And they say it's a killer peak because it's not located on this route, so you have to walk on the glacier for about 15 days to get to K2. So you have to be in good shape. So that's why we did not have the chance, because someday but I have a plan. So I may like to go out. My wife thinks I'm crazy, but we'll see. And this is just another map which I took it from one of the magazines. So if you look at that, this is Afghanistan, this is Pamir, this is Hindu Kush, and then Wakian's corridor, and this is Karakoram. So we started from Islamabad, and all this road is, it's a Karakoram. Now this area, that's where Naga Parbat is, which is the 8th highest peak in the world, and I will show you in a minute. It will come very soon. Now, this is a typical Silk Route. This is about from 200 miles from Islamabad. So this road is not being used, but you can still see once in a while. And this is how it used to be, like 6, 7 feet wide, and And I was reading today that in those days it was so dangerous to travel on this road. They had like sometimes 50 to 100 camels and horses, all these they used to travel to that. But you can see the mountains are very rugged. This is all Karakoram range. And as I said before, it's a very young mountain range, 50 million years old. So that's why they have a lot of landslides and a lot of earthquakes. So this is the landslide I was talking about. Now this is a river. It's an Indus River. So this road is not being used, but this is one part of Silk Road that has been destroyed by the landslide. But it's hard to imagine, but it's a pretty big, very huge activity over there. And on our way, we also passed through villages and they were growing rice. These are rice paddies. And by the way, every inch is cultivated over there because of the mountains, not too much space. So people take a lot of pride and they are extremely efficient, whatever they grow. So this is Nama Parbat mountain behind. This is one of the bridges. It's a hanging bridge, and this is the road, and it's kind of amazing because, these are some of the villages we have. Now, this is I like this picture because I also have it framed over there, and it says that that's where the junction point of the three greatest mountain ranges of the world, and Himalayas, Hindu Kush, and Karakoram. So this is Naga Parbat, which is 26,500, and then this is Karakoram, and this is Hindu Kush. And this is my dad. He's a retired army vet, and he's still working, by the way, full time, 9 to 5. And he works for a British charity organization in Pakistan, and they do a lot of work. They take care of horses and mules free of charge. And he's their director of Pakistan operations. And this organization was developed in Egypt, early World War, immediately after World War I. Now, this is a pretty giant river, Indus River, and these people are crossing. They just had one wire, and sometimes it's hand operated, but this was machine operated. So they had two guys and one lady, and it's scary because as you know that mountain rivers are extremely deep, very fast and extreme. So you can't swim in this river or you can't do anything, no boating, it's so bad. But these guys, I'm amazed because they only had a one cable. So you can imagine if that cable goes, something goes wrong, there is really no chance for survival. Now this is pretty high mountains, and this is Karakoram Highway. It's going like a snake. But you will see different types of geological structures. The rocks are different, and it's always on the move. And I was reading the other day, somebody told that the road has been built, but it's really not finished because you will always see people working. There is so many landslides every day because there are so many glaciers. And this is another landslide, and basically it's pretty dangerous, but they have a pretty good maintenance work. Now this is the landslide, although it looks pretty bad, but it was not all that. This is my dad, this is our driver, he's in Pakistani clothes. This bus was going to go to Karachi, and I was amazed. They have a long distance because they have pilgrims coming from China, so they get into Pakistan and they go up to Karachi. From Karachi, they go to Saudi Arabia. Now they just had a landslide, so these people are trying to get their trucks moving. It was a little truck, a utility truck, and basically they tell you that don't move your truck. You have to wait for the people to work, but just like in this country, when you see rains or snow, you see people get stuck because they don't listen to anybody. So I think the same thing happens. And this was the truck we had. It's a 4-seater, air-conditioned, pretty good truck. And so within 10 minutes, the Army Corps of Engineers came. So they fixed the road, and we were gone, and we had to wait only for 15 minutes. But you will see amazing kind of rocks all over the place. Now, as I said before, Marco Polo, he traveled on this road. So this sheep is called Marco Polo sheep. and it was almost an extinct species. Now it's well protected by the World Wildlife Federation as well as Pakistani government. But there was a place where I saw, this bird, so I thought, let me take this picture. It's a pretty unique sheep, but pretty big and very impressive. This is a bridge. It's near Gilgit, right in the middle of Karakoram highway. So we were only 100 miles from Hunza. Now you will see this is a tunnel, and you can only have a jeep going inside. You can't have more than any vehicle because you can't have a truck or any 18 wheeler. It's so small, but it was pretty unique, and they take care of it very good. Now this is close to Hunza. You will see this mountain. This is Raka Poshi, which is 25,500 feet valley, and it's full of glaciers, and basically it's one of the most beautiful places in Earth. And I took this picture. This is Hunza proper, and you will see the trees are not pines. These are popular trees, very high. This is the Ultar Peak, which is about 23 or 24,000 feet high. And look at the Rockies. The rocks are really hard, and there's a lot of activity now. This is a little village, and people just live there. And the most interesting thing is that this is what they use, the glacial water. So this is kind of a myth that Hunza people live for a long time. Sometimes they used to say it's another Shangri-La, 110 years. But you will find a lot of people because the health and life is perfect, fresh air. But they drink a muddy style water, and they say it's very good. It's a glacial water. That's one of the magic formulas, and they have been doing it for years. So it's kind of unique. This is one of my favorite photographs, and I took it from one of the forts. This is a 1,000-year fort, and this is glacier behind. It's a peak, and these are some of the villages, and it's all kind of mud houses. And I think these people are pretty happy. They have a good life, and very, very nice and extremely courteous people. You won't find them angry. They are really, they will welcome you wherever you are. Sorry? Mostly they eat fruit, and then once in a while they eat the yak. See, they don't have any other animals, and that's why they stay in pretty good shape. No beef. And if you eat the yak meat, I ate it over there. It's very lean. It's extremely delicious, and it goes up to Tibet also. This is another one. I took it from this fort, and it's the same spot. This is our village. These are few peaks behind, and these are really high mountains. This was the hotel. We did not stay in this hotel, but this hotel is owned by the local, we call it Mir MIR, but it's a king. Now, since it's become part of Pakistan, they still have some honorary designations, and he built this hotel. I will compare it with I would say, Hyatt Hotel. Really beautiful, and you stay in this lobby, and you will see three giant peaks in front of you. I did not have that picture with me, but it's amazing. And behind it is another high peak. Now, they also have a fort, which is about 700 years old. This is called Baltic or Baltic Fort. And you will see the architecture is just like Tibet. And at one point, about 900 years ago, Hunza, they had more affiliation with Tibet, and they had some marriages. So this is now a museum, and it's being restored by Aga Khan Foundation out of England. And he also comes over there, Prince Aga Khan. But it's amazing, this fort is pretty big, and they have everything inside. Food, they have rooms for prisoners, they have rooms for themselves, everything. This is another view of this fort, and you will see it has been restored, all the rocks and stones, and this is a 23,000 elevation peak, which is kind of I think it's the Ultar Peak, and they still have not been able to go to this peak because they say it's pretty difficult. But inside, it's all restored, and it's a pretty unique home. This is another picture. These are a couple of trees behind, and this is the whole part of the thing. Now, this is all Hunza. It was very, very bright. I used my couple of filters. It still did not work out. So behind, right here is Rakaposhi, which is 500 elevation, high peak. Now this is, you will see, this is all woodwork, and it's about 500 years old. So this is where the local king used to sit and enjoy his scenery. Now this is Hunza River. On this side you have Nagir. This is another locality. On this side you have Hunza proper. But it's a pretty high elevation area, and it's very beautiful. And now they have it for display. It's still in pretty good shape, all the wood. Now the wooden structure is just like Kashmir, and it's all over the northern areas in Pakistan. And the next slide I have, I took it from Lahore Fort. Maybe I missed it. Anyway, I will wait for that. This is another part of Baltic Fort, and you will see these are their bedrooms, and these are the servant quarters, and this is where they have a living room, and they used to sit here. But amazing kind of stones, and the way it is being built, it's amazing. It's still standing there. And these are some of the musical instruments. You will find that those people really loved music in those days. And this is a basic drum, and these are few instruments. And you will see these instruments, they do resemble some of the instruments in Central Asia. So it's kind of pretty cool. This is a typical village. I do have it, I think I don't have this picture, but the next one I have. And the interesting thing is, I think I have it over here. These are all mud houses, and right at the top they have these holes, and right, on the top of their roofs they are drying all the, things all year. They dry a lot of apricots. This is what they eat in winter, because the whole area is cut off from the civilization. From November up to March, there is no contact. So they are pretty self-sufficient, and the most amazing thing which you can see it over there, it's not all that visible. Here, there is a satellite dish. So you can imagine, these people are living in mud houses, they have electricity, and it's a beautiful, wonderful, culture, and they enjoy their life, but they do have a satellite dish. So this is another same spot, and these are all the same houses. So most of these houses, they have a place for their animals, and as I said, land is so scarce. They will use every inch they have. So it's kind of pretty unique. And this is another, then we have another fort over there, which is called Altit Fort. Now, Baltic Fort is 600 years old. Altit Fort is 900 years old, 900 to 1000. And they were telling me over there that they recently did some carbon dating, this lab work, and they found out that some people say it's more than 900 years old. And these are beautiful peaks behind, and all these are about 23,000 feet. Now this is my dad, and we went to this Baltic Fort, and this little kid was our guide, and he showed us around, and we paid about 30 cents or 40 cents. That was the entrance fee. But you will see the architecture is different from Baltic Fort, and this is the entrance to the fort, which I have it in the next one. And it's extremely beautiful, the way they have designed it. This is all woodwork. It's about 900 years old. Now, it's all wood pillars, and in between they have a mud kind of cement, which I could not understand. So, but they're still there, and they were trying to restore it. So I think it will be restored. But this is at the highest point of Hunza, so that they could monitor, all the caravans on Silk Road in those days, because there was a lot of looting in those days. So that was the best place they had. So, and then this was the one I was talking about. This is I got it at the Hot Fort, and it's all woodwork. It's a door. So they had the same kind of work in both forts in Hunza. And this one is from the Mughal era, and it's about 500 years old. Now we also went to a glacier called Hopper Glacier, which is about 15 miles long. Now, if you go to Banff in Canada, you may have visited the Columbia ice field. So that ice field is all white. This one is kind of a muddy style glacier, and it moves 1 feet a day. 1 feet a day. And or maybe a couple of feet, I don't know. But these are all kids watching us. The moment we went over there, you will see all the high-rise, pretty high peaks. But these kids were very curious, and there are not too many schools over there, so they had nothing to do. So basically, they were just telling me kind of. And this was a village. It's also one of my favorites. Near the Hopper Glacier, you see, they are using every inch of land they had. So they were growing vegetables. They also grow maize and they grow wheat. And then they don't sell vegetables in the market. They use it for themselves. And this is a little hut, and it's really pretty. And there are some places, some houses here, and this is a big boulder. So this is a really unique area. The elevation of this area was 12,000 feet. So people were still living. And this is our Hilton Hotel, and somebody wrote it over there, but these are pretty high mountains. And right behind is our Hopar Glacier. And somebody just wrote the word Hilton. I thought it was kind of unique, so we are always looking for these kind of spots. Now then, beyond Hunza, we went to Pasu Glacier towards China border. These are really unique, and the elevation is about 18,000 to like 20,000. And somebody wrote in a big, huge words, "Welcome to Pasu." And this area, you will be amazed. Every 60 miles on the Karakoram highway, you have a different landscape. And the most amazing thing is, nothing is similar. Every 50 miles, you have a different kind of mountain. So that's where Karakoram is one of the most youngest mountains in the world because there are so many things going on. The Indian plate and tectonic plate, they all collide. That's why there are a lot of earthquakes. And of course, landslides. And then this is another one where the shepherds hut, and these are all pretty high peaks. I would say at least 21,000. And you will see there is a river behind, and it's kind of a zigzag. But you wonder, when we travel on this road, sometimes you wonder how they built it. And that's why it took them about 15 to 20 minutes. This is also available over there in my collection, and I took it over there. This is all water on the road. So basically, Karakoram Highway in some places, it's not really a road, and you have to go through all these obstacles. But that's the fun part of going on this road. Now you can have buses on this road. The traffic never stops, so it's always a continuous flow. I took it from the backside of our truck. Now this was another. A landslide, and we waited over there for about 1 hour, and after that they cleared it. What was going on was there was a mudslide going on, and see, right at the top they have huge glaciers. So when they melt after 3 p.m., they said that you must travel before 3, otherwise you will be stuck. So also both sides people are waiting, and you couldn't pass. Now, what happened is I asked one of the drivers, "What do you do if it's all you can't drive?" So they said these people exchange their passengers with them, and they go over there. So this is how they keep on moving the traffic. But some of these ladies, as I said before, I think these are from Canada, a couple of ladies, and they had a Pakistani dress. And over there, they recommend that wear Pakistani dress. They, we will not recommend you to wear shorts and anything, because it's kind of respectful to the culture. So, and you will see men also wear these long shirts and long shorts. And then that's where Army Corps of Engineers, they were coming and they fixed the road within 10 minutes. Yes. I'm sorry? It was about 65 to 70. Now, when we went to this beyond Pasu, this is now near Khunjra Pass, and we are going to be going 16,000 above sea level. Now, these mountains, you will see they are kind of different because they are really high mountain, about 17,000, and so the road is pretty nice. and I thought it was a pretty nice shot. And now in July, all this snow will melt, and it's amazing, even at 16,000. So they have a tundra grass, just like Estes Park here. They have a tundra grass and beautiful flowers, and but it's only there for a few months, and then rest will come back. Now this couple, I took this shot in one of those places where there was a curved road behind the same kind of mountain. Now this couple is from Germany, and they are on their bicycles, and this is about 15,000 feet. And they were going to go up to China. They started from Beijing, and they were it was a German couple, and so they had a tent, and I think they had a great time. So I couldn't have this. I do have the pictures over there. You can look at those. But I was amazed, and he said that he's on the road for 1 month, and I think they had a good time, so they were enjoying. Now we have to go through the glacier to get to Hunza Pass, which is about 16,500. So this is a glacier, pretty high. Sorry, it was end of May. Yes. Now this is the top of the world, almost the top of the world, and this is about 16,500. And so this is beyond. This is China border. This is a little glacier. So all year it's like this. Now this is on the left hand side is China border. On the right hand side is Pakistan border. So this is a fence, and it's the same mountain range. And I thought it was a pretty nice thing. And then my dad, this is where Chinese, security guard was standing there. I think he was bored, so when he saw us, he came here. So this is where China-Pakistan border, So he's a Chinese. This is our security guard, Pakistani, and this is my dad. So looks like all day there is no traffic, not too much traffic. So he just wanted to talk to us. So he came, and there is no restriction between these two countries. English. But he could not speak all that English, but he could understand. So, see, Pakistan official languages, two languages, Urdu and English. So people start English pretty early, so there's no problem in Pakistan. Okay, this is my which is near the China. So you will see it was opened in 1986, and it's right at the 0 point of China-Pakistan border. A lot of snow. Yes, once in a while they recommend you that if you have problems, don't go over there. But I think my dad had a little problem, but my allergies were doing okay, so I did not have any problem. Now this is one of the places I also wanted to see some people. This is about the dresses they wear. They always grow beer over there, beer. And then these are the vegetable shops. They are selling bananas. Now this is amazing. Here they are selling beef and goat, and they will keep it for about 3-4 hours, and then people buy it, and so after that it's all gone. So this is a meat shop. So it's kind of pretty unique, and I think it's all over India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka. They sell outside, but they don't keep it more than 3-4 hours because the consumption is they will only slaughter whatever is needed. And then this guy was selling different kinds of spices, and this is some of the curries, and then so basically he's a wholesaler, and he was pretty happy because I took this picture, but he was curious. Now this is a horse, and it's one of the bazaars, shopping centers of that old city. And on the Karakoram highway, right near one city, we found these different utensils being sold and decoration pieces. It's kind of nice. And these are some of the shawls we have collected over these years, and my wife will be happy to visit with you if you have any questions. These are over there, and so these are all from that area. So you see some of the styles and motives and designs, they just are just like any Central Asian republic, Kazakhstan, Turkmenistan, Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan, and all these ethnic groups, when they travel on this Silk Road for centuries, they have been exchanging their designs, and these are beautiful shawls, all handmade. And this is another one, I think it's and then next one is some of the handicrafts. I took these. My brother took these long time ago. I just want you to see that these are different types of utensils, and these are all handmade. And these are all decorative. And this is another old style. I just want you to see the brick structure. This is in Multan, and it's a dome, pretty nice building, about 400 years old. And this is the last one, which is it's all made of marble, and so this kind of work they do in the last 700-800 years. So this is my presentation. I'll be happy to entertain any questions if you have. I'm sorry?
What is the religion?
Islam, 96% Islam, and then 4% minorities, mostly Christians. Yes, sir.
Where were the bananas grown at that market?
They come from Karachi, which is one of the largest cities in Pakistan, or seaport. So they travel like 1,800 miles on these trucks. So they come from.
And it'd be in a subtropical zone.
That's right. So what they do is they bring those bananas, green bananas, and then they, ride them, they put them in boxes and hay. So it's kind of a pretty interesting procedure there. The same thing they do with mangoes. Those big mangoes, like the size of cantaloupe. Okay, good question. In fact, that you have mentioned. We drove, our average speed came out to be 35 miles per hour. So that's why it took us 3 days to get to Hunza, or 2 days. And then the same, and then up to Hunza Pass, it took us 1 day, because really steep flight. Yes. Just if you want to stay in that hotel which is owned by the meals, the local, Yes, that Hilton doesn't have a bathroom.
What about the cost of fuel?
Cost of fuel, very expensive. You will pay about $4, $3 to $4, because everything is imported. Very expensive.
$3 to $4 a gallon.
That's right. No, $3 to $4 a gallon, yes. 54 rupees to $1. That is official rate, 50 rupees to $1. Asia Minor is all the Central Asian states, those Tajikistan, Kyrgyzstan, and Caucasus. So basically, see, the most interesting thing is, and if you happen to be in that place someday, you'll be amazed how many cultures have been combined together for centuries. And so when you look at their behavior, it's just mind-boggling that how come I didn't come here? See, I live in Pakistan. I was born in Pakistan, and I couldn't go early days because there was no road. So it's only 1986 they opened this road, because previously it was built, but they never really allowed any people. And now you cannot believe how many tourists are coming. And that's not a good sign, because after 4 or 5 years, I'm very much concerned, because there will be some problems. Too many people. Now, from this country, not too many people go. From Europe. Out of 100 tourists, 90 tourists are from the European countries, because they know this area. So on my handouts, I do have some of the websites, and some of the people from Austria, they have been on their bikes on this road. Read their, amazing information they have provided. It's really amazing how people, they take so many big adventures. Sorry. Yes, I forgot. I'm sorry. Business opportunities limited. The area has few problems in these days, because of Kashmir, India, Pakistan. But overall, I think it's going to subside down. There is a huge talent in all South Asia, India, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, and you'll be amazed how many people are educated. Just go to Northwest Texas, every other doctor is either Indian or Pakistani. So there is a lot of export of talent, and but business opportunities are mostly in agriculture and small industry. But before I forget, I just wanted to announce, yes, these people helped me make this seminar happen. I have Faisal Ali, he's from Pakistan, and he's my grad assistant. And then I have Hyde over there. He's from Vietnam, and he's my international business emphasis. And then I have Kylie Pryor, he's on behind the camera, and he's my MBA student. And all three individuals are extremely bright, and I'm really proud to have these guys helping me. And I do have a couple of individuals, I'm glad that they are there, they attended my session. They are from Pakistan also. Shahzad, he's from Multan, and then we have Almas. He works for Texas A&M Extension. And let's see, these are the individuals. And then, of course, we have Suresh Gopalan, he's from India. I invited them. Bob Stewart is from agriculture, so they are here. Looks like they wanted to hear, but we.
I noticed a lot of young people in the audience here who didn't stand up to introduce. They have coffee and donuts here in a little bit. I hope you will make a special effort to make them feel welcome and meet a lot of our guests today. You going to tell us about all the programs that's up there?
Oh, I do. No, yeah, that would wait. But anyway, I think it's a great idea. He has a great idea. We got lots of those. Be sure and take these to various areas. Don't be shy about picking them up.
We got lots of thousands.
We do have thousands, and seriously, let me just say this. The committee, with Don Paxton as chairperson, Frank